Good evening, everybody. My name is Bubby Craft, and tonight we're doing something really special in honor of the 80th anniversary of Thomas and Friends. I present to you the brand new Thomas. This guy is awesome. I have got so much detail crammed into such a tiny little model, and I'm pretty excited to show you how to build it. And I will have the schematic as well as the schematic for the brand new Annie and the brand new Clarabelle available on my Patreon. And I will leave the link in the video description below. But to start, what we're going to do is we are going to select the triple axle, come down here to the pistonless, and we're just going to place that sucker there. What's going to happen when we click this to make it bigger is it's going to disappear because we're on the Creataholics Modpack and on the Creataholics public server, and Fabric for some reason doesn't like the extended bogies mod, and the larger models stay hidden. So what we're going to do is, just for the time being, so we know that there's wheels there, is we're going to leave this we're going to leave it small and kind of just go from there. Alright, what we want to do now is we want to go ahead and place down a temporary block, and we're going to grab a copycat layer, and 1, 2, 3. We're just going to place down a layer, a bunch of different layers of 3. I believe it's 3. It might actually be 2. Let me see. We're going to swoop ahead here just real quick. Place down this. It is 3. Okay, perfect. So we're just going to swoop ahead here and place down an entire layer of 3. You'll see in a second. There we go. We have our layer of layered blocks down, and it is a 3x8. Once you have that 3x8, what you're going to do is you're going to place down some copycat slices twice. So click twice on those just to get those down. And then that's going to create the illusion of the locomotive being a little bit wider, but it's also going to allow us to do something cool with the running board trick here, or this trick with the running board. So I'm going to fill these in with the red locometal, and I'm using the red slash locometal. And then on this part, what you're going to do is you're going to fill this in with polished cut diorite. And that's going to give you the white base for your Thomas. But if you look, it also kind of gives you a little bit of a running board, but also a little bit of an overhang. And I think that looks kind of cool. So that's what we're doing there. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to place down a layer of copycat bytes. Place down a temporary set of blocks. And then we're going to run a line of copycat bytes just down through here. Get rid of those copycat blocks. Place down our buffers and our headstock. And what we're going to do is we are going to grab a copycat side panel, or byte panel is what they're called. Place a copycat byte panel there, and we'll fill them in with the slash red locometal. Fill in those with our slash red locometal, and we're actually going to grab some dye as well, some red dye, and we're going to just dye our buffers that as well. Fill in your bytes with the polished cut diorite, and then realize that you accidentally overwrote the bytes. We're going to grab a couple of bytes and place those on either side there, and a kitchen hood from the handcrafted mod, and place those in there like that. And what I like to do on all of my RWS characters is I put as my own little signature look, if you will. I put the slices on the side there, and I'm going to fill them in with black locometal smoke box, just so we have some more detail and everything right there. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to grab a hold of the copycat stacked half layer, and I am going to 5, 6, 7, 8 place down all the way to the edge bottom here, the stacked layer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 1 there, and 1 there. We're gonna place a boiler block there, and with our copycat layer, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Place in that boiler block so it's facing up, like so. On this guy, smoke box so that they're facing forward, and then on these guys, fill them in with the copper wrapped blue loco metal. Now you can leave that like that if you wish. All of that's going to be hidden. It's not the only piece that's going to be visible is that guy right there. So that guy's important, but that guy's not. So there we go. Alright, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to start placing down a bunch of these copycat half layers. And the reason that we're doing that is because we're going to be creating the foam finger-esque like pointing feature of Thomas, whatever you want to call it. So place down a couple full blocks worth to match up 3 spaces. And then on our 4th one, we're going to leave that blank. On the top here, we're going to go, I believe it is, let me see, 1, 2, 3. It is 3. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. We want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 4. Almost like it's a slab's worth. And then that's going to create your little bit of a pointer. And it's kind of cool. I'm going to place polished cut azurine on that guy, just like I did on the first version of the RWS Thomas that I ran with. So I just like the way that the azurine looks with things. It's kind of neat. So we'll place that there for later, for right now. And then just continue along with this side here. So we want to grab ourselves a copycat layer again. But before we do that, we want to place down just a couple of temporary blocks. And then we're going to place a layer. And then on top of that temporary block is going to be another layer. So we want to grab a hold this time of the copycat vertical half layer, as well as a copycat board. Now we want to place a copycat vertical half layer like that, and then a board behind it. And what we're doing here is we're creating the ability to attach another board to be able to continue that window right there. But it's also going to give the effect of like a window being slid open, or just a little bit more depth to the project. I don't know. I think it looks cool, so that's what I'm doing. We'll grab some oak bordered glass, place that inside, and then a oak window is going to be the back one. So I'm sorry, oak bordered glass for this piece, and then we've got the oak window for that piece right there. Okay, and then we are going to place a blue slashed logo metal on that right there. We are going to grab a seat, is that's going to go boop, just like so. And then we need to grab a train control, place that right there. We can go ahead and grab a copycat layer and place that on there. And then what I did for that copycat layer was I took a piece of the black loco metal pillar and I made it facing up like that. And then you can place that window just like that. What is it? The oak window just like that. All right. Our next task that we want to do here is we want to stick with our copycat half layers. And we want to grab these copycat half layers. And we're going to grab the blue copper wrapped loco metal. we're gonna go ahead and boop these guys down on here. These are gonna be a full block's worth. And then I think that's 4. It might be 5. Yeah, it's 5. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, it was 4. I was right and just can't count. Okay, and then we want to just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to be our little coal bunker. Fill those in. We are going to put the copycat half layer here, as well as here. Fill that in with the blue pleated locomotive. And then we are going to take our copycat layers. And we're going to go 1, 2. 1, 2. Oh, that is not a copycat layer. That is a 1, 2. And let's grab the brass wrapped, as well as a piece of azurine. Alright, now what we want to do is we want to take a copycat slice to be able to hide that little piece right there. And then we're going to grab a blue locomotive smoke box and just boop that in there. So it's a little bit of a darker, a little bit more of a color, a color shift, whatever you want to call it. I honestly don't know the words off the top of my head at the moment. Okay, we want to then grab a copycat slice, put that right there on there like so. We're going to grab a copycat half layer and a deep slate tile block. And in our offhand, we'll place our deep slate tile. Then we're going to click 1, 2. Come on. What are you doing? Oh, did I put that on the wrong? I did. I put that on the wrong one. That's what's going on. Boop, boop. Okay. We got 1, 2, 1, 2. And then our next one is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2. And then 1. Oops. 1. And then that's your roof. It looks good. You're going to go in the middle here and you're going to go 1, 2. 1, 1. Oh. That's Bean. He says hi. 1, 1, 2, 1. Perfect. Editor Bubby here. I completely forgot. On the back here, place a placard and then a headlight. Boom. Then you have Thomas's little thingamajigger here. When you place him in build mode or in and out of build mode, for some reason the headlight doesn't like to stick. So there we go. Back at a build mode, and there Thomas has his little backup headlights. Looking pretty snazzy. Alright, in our middle here, we're going to place down a fluid tank behind the train control, and then a steam whistle, but make it tiny, because it's Thomas. He has a little bit of a peep. You know, a little bit of a peep peep. That's all. Inside here in the cab, we're going to place down that sort of thing right there. We'll finish the other side here in a minute, but I mean, essentially you're just going to repeat everything we just did on the other side. I want to try and keep this video quick and concise, if you will. For our smoke box, we're going to place down a wood burner smokestack. Make sure that you right click it so that it's not producing smoke. You can leave the coal burner smokestack that you place on top of that with the ability to produce smoke. That's totally fine. So we're going to place down a copycat headstock, just like we've done before with our Thomases. And the copycat headstocks on the front again as well. We're going to grab a copycat half panel. Was it a half panel? It's the stacked half layer. That's right, because we didn't have access to this sort of thing before. So, stacked half layer, just to give a little bit more depth to the build, if you will. Perfect. Alright. We're going to grab a hold of a copycat copycat layer. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That looks about right. Yeah. And we're gonna grab a copycat wooden pressure plate. Really doesn't matter what kind of pressure plate, just as long as it's a pressure plate. Got that guy. Fill that sucker in with there. Repeat the same thing. Do 7. And then look at that. You have half of your Thomas complete. One of the cool things that you can do is you can find some websites that will make certain letters and certain shapes to paste inside of signs. And what I did was I just took the sign here, the blue canvas sign from Farmer's Delight, and I put in a couple of different shapes to make it look like I have the number 1 here. And I quite like the way that that looks. It's just a bit of a different colors contrasting with each other, and I think it looks really cool. But you know what? We're going to snap our fingers, and I'm going to have the other half of Thomas done here. So 3, 2, 1. There we go. Oops. There we go. We have our Thomas filled in on both sides. And the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to just right-click here. And then that's going to make our wheels larger. And what we want to do to glue, I already went ahead and did the glue, is we want to just place down any old blocks, does not matter what. Make sure that you're placing down those blocks so that they connect, and connect, and connect, and connect, and blah, 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 blah. Just make sure that you glue it. I'm not really sure why there was what is that? Glow goop? Oh, yeah, because we have lights over here or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, what we're going to do now is we're going to just assemble our train. And boom. There's Thomas. He looks really, really cool. I think he's actually pretty fantastic. And we're just going to give him a little bit of a whoosh here. See that? Look at that. Thomas is fantastic. Going nice and slow because I think the server is a little bit laggy at the moment, but that's okay. There's lots of people on here. Look at this. Look at this. Public servers are popping. But yeah, if you like the video, please like the video. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I'm going to go ahead and release this new anniversary Thomas. He will be available on my Patreon. Members of Patreon will be able to download Thomas as well as the new Annie and Clarabelle, which again are right here, and they are distinguishable. Annie has all of her windows, and Clarabelle has this back part kind of filled in to simulate there being a guard's cabin, but I don't really have the space back there to do a guard's cabin. So maybe I'll figure something out, and we'll do something differently with Clarabelle later on. But for right now, this has been Thomas, and this has been Bubbycraft. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Thank you all so much for joining, and I will catch you in the next one. Okay, love you, bye! If you like this build but want to skip the tutorial, you can become a member of my Patreon. You'll get access to this and many other builds, and the link is in my description below. Thank you! Good evening, everybody. My name is Bubbycraft, and tonight we're building the 80th anniversary edition of Edward. Alright, so first thing that we want to do is we want to grab ourselves a casing, because we are going to be placing down a medium standard of the double axle wheel. We'll count back 4 rails from this back wheel. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to grab ourselves a double 040 pistonless driver. We want to right click the green ties with an open hand to make them the bigger ones. Come over here to the front on this bogie here, and we're going to right click with one of the copycat half layers 4 times, and then 3 times. This level 3 is going to be the basis of your copycat layers all the way around, making sure on this side that we go ahead and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. That way when we fill these in with the polished cut diorite, it looks like the wheels being covered a little bit, and it's just, you know, another little extra detail slash pop of color, whatever you want to call it. So we're gonna take these layers all the way back. How's everybody doing today? You having a good day? I hope you're having a good day. It's always fun making these videos for you guys. I really hope you enjoy them. I don't normally do a lot of talking in the videos outside of the tutorial, so I just figured I would say hi, check in with everybody, and make sure you're having a great day. If you like the video, please like the video, and if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. Perfect. The next thing we want to do is we are going to place down a blue locometal smoke box, just because it's something to put down. Honestly, you can really put any block there you want. It doesn't need to be the blue locometal smoke box. On top of this middle one, though, you are going to place another one there and a wooden pressure plate on top of that you're going to fill in with the blue locometal smoke box. That'll give a little bit of a curve to the top of his dome. From there, what we want to do is we are going to place down some layers. 4, 5, I believe it's 5. Yes, it is 5. So we're going to place down 5, and we're going to grab the slashed locometal. 2, 3, 5, like that. And then we are going to grab the blue riveted locometal, and we're going to place down, what is that, 2? Oops. 1, 2, 1, 2, like so. Fill those in like that, and then 1 there on the bottom, and fill that in like that. Now, the reason we're doing that is because we're going to alternate, as you can see over here on this Edward, we're going to be alternating the design. Except down here, we're just going to place down another one of these blue riveted locometals. On the either side of that one that you just placed down, you're going to do level 3 on there, and grab some slashed locometal. On this guy, you're going to bring it out to level 7, I believe. Yes, level 7. Fill that in with the riveted locometal. Why did we do riveted here? Shouldn't it have been... I think it should have been slashed. Did I make a mistake on my own Edward? Oh, jeez. Oh, no, I did. It should have been this. Look at that. See? Even I make mistakes on things. Cool. So we grab that right there like so. We're going to grab ourselves a copycat bite, and we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. And we want to do another one, but we're going to grab this color really quick to fill these in. Like that, and then we're going to bring it up, bring it up like it's a staircase, and then we're going to do a blank one here, because that's going to be azurine in a little bit, when we fill in that little gap thing there. From here, what we want to do is we want to just click down to a level 2 of the half layers, and fill that in with that. Alright, our next step is now we're going to start working on the smoke box. We're going to place down a smoke box like that, so it's facing up and pointing up. We're going to place down one of these guys, fill it in with that, place down another one in the front here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually 5, because we want it to be a little bit higher out. And then this top one is going to be a level 2. No, wait. Level 1. Jeez. Temporary block there. We want a copycat headstock there. There. And there. And then we're going to do another one of those there. And we're going to bring that out so that it's... Actually, no, we're not. Jeez. I really should learn how I build these more before I teach you guys how to build them. My building process is just so chaotic sometimes. I kind of just do stuff, and if it looks good, I keep it, and then as I'm showing you guys how to do these, is how I'm reteaching myself how I did it, sort of thing. It's a little bit of a messy process, but it does get there in the end, and it's you guys that make these worthwhile. Because you guys ask for the videos, and it just means that I know you like them. So we're going to do what we usually do with our smoke boxes. We're going to place the wood burner smokestack like so, with the oil burner smokestack on top of that. That's basically the front of Edward. You're just going to fill in a couple of decorations. We did the, what is this thing called? The kitchen hood from Handcrafted, and a couple of these copycat bites. And then actually I already have one right here in my hand, so we're going to grab a screw link coupler and put a buffer on either side of that. Grab ourselves the slashed locomotive. On the project Bubbdor Modpack, I don't know why these don't connect together or are connective textures. I don't know why. I'm not really sure. But if you're building this on Creataholics, which this was originally built on the Creataholics Modpack, you are able to see connective textures. I just don't understand why they don't work here. We're going to grab ourselves a copycat vertical slice, place a vertical slice there, vertical slice there, grab a smoke box and fill in those vertical slices. You'll notice that it's a little bit of a darker slice when you fill it in with the smoke box versus, for example, the riveted locomotive. See how it does that? But if we do the smoke box, we have a pretty much all black vertical slice that looks really nice. Alright, now we are going to grab a hold of the horizontal copycat slice. And we're going to click this twice all the way down Edward's running board. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Boom, boom, boom. Just like that. Take your red slash locomotive. Fill in your running board. Oh, actually you're going to leave that one space open because we're doing something different. And we can actually take these off because we're doing something different there again as well. We want to grab a copycat bite panel, and we are going to start making the exterior of Edward's cab. So starting from here, we're going to put down 1, 2, 3, and then just do a couple of temporary blocks so you have something to place these on. 4, 5, 6, 7. Remove your temporary blocks. Grab a hold of the copper wrapped blue locomotive, fill those in like so. Then remember how I said we were going to use azurine in here? That's just to kind of hide that, make it look like a little bit of just a little hidden spot. Oh, put this out way more than... So how many was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 sounds about right. Let's do that guy there. Perfection. Same as we usually do, we are going to grab a hold of a whistle and a fluid tank. we want the regular or the level 2 whistle. So we've got, this is the level 2, that's 3, that's 1. So we just want the regular level 2. And then we can start moving back into our cab, but before we do that, let's do our little tricky doodah thing here. So we're gonna bring this guy down 1, 2, 3. Then our next guy is gonna come all the way down. That kind of looks like a little bit of a ladder. Pretty neat, huh? We're gonna place a couple of temporary blocks again, just to have them. Grab ourselves a copycat vertical half layer. Place 2 right there, and then we want to do remove these, put 1 behind that, and then remove, jeez. And so that's what you want, basically. You want 1 on your copycat byte panels, and then you want 1 kind of behind it, if you will, so to speak. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Place another 1 there, fill it in with some azurine, and then we are going to... Is there actually 2? Oh, I messed that up. I'm only allowed 2 mistakes per video. So that guy goes there. And then that guy goes there. Cool. We're going to grab the oak window. It's just called oak window. Fill both of those in like that. Remove your temporary blocks. You're going to grab a copycat headstock. Place that headstock right here. Grab a blue locomotive smoke box and place that right there. That's like the door, like the representation of climbing the ladder and opening the door to go into the cabin. From here, what we can do is just take a peek inside of what I've got going on here. You can customize your cab really however you want. Your Edward can be your own Edward. Really just make him look however you'd like him to look on the inside. It's the outside shape that we're kind of going for and what we're looking for. So, but for me, I liked the idea of putting down, the couple of boards here, and then putting in, oh, you know what, it was the locomotive pillars. Yeah, I like that. I just thought that looked really cool. Placing down your seat and your train control. Your next train control, just put a temporary block. Your next train control is just going to go there, right behind where you're sitting, inside of the tender. Perfect. Let's go ahead and add ourselves a cab. Oh, I have everything I need in my inventory. Perfect. I'm going to grab this because that's the block I usually use to fill it in. So we're going to do our slices. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, and 1. Oh. 1 and 1. There we go. So that's going to complete the side, or the side of Edward. Oh, we forgot the these thingies. What are they called? You know those things you look out of? You know. Come on, you know. It's a pain in the butt to put them on here, but just get them on however you can. We reduce that like so. We're gonna grab azurine, place that right there, grab your oak window. You can either do that one or you can do slim oak window. I use the slim ones occasionally because they are able to be rotated and look like that. I think they look kind of good. So that's what we'll do there. We'll place a copycat layer there, and then a piece of azurine, like so. And I did actually do this here. I mean, again, you can make your cab look however you want. That's just how I did my cab. Perfect. That is Edward done. Let me quickly go ahead and do the other side. All right, for our next segment, which will be the tender, we are going to grab the triple axle. I believe it is the trailing, or the tender one, yes. This guy, we're going to place that right there. And then we are going to grab a metal girder, place that metal girder here, place a chute off of that, girder, chute, girder. On these, you can place girders out like so, and then do that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So if it doesn't work, you can just right click with a wrench to get that kind of shape, if you will. On top of that copycat board there, you can, or I'm sorry, on top of that girder there, you can place a copycat board, fill that in with the polished cut diorite, and then it's just going to really be a lot of temporary block placing for the moment. You're going to run a string of temporary blocks all the way around like so. At the same time, we're going to do the other half of the tender here really quick. Okay, and then what we're trying to do here is we're making the base of the tender, and then we're going to kind of just fill stuff in on top of it. Oh, tartar sauce. Yeah, I'll fix that in a minute. Alright, so boom. Like so. It doesn't even want to place there. That's weird. Anyway. We can get rid of our temporary blocks now. And we want to dig a little crevice underneath, because we are going to grab ourselves the copycat panels, and we're going to shift click copycat panels underneath all of this stuff and fill it in with the polished, or the black slashed loco metal. Go like this, like so. Grab yourself a copycat slice, click it twice, fill it with azurine, and call it a day. Like that. Grab these. Fill in all of the sides here. Grab yourself a placard. Put that in the back, and then grab a headlight from the bells and whistles mod. Put that on there like that. It's gonna bother me if I don't do this. There. Like that. Okay. So we're gonna put a... Oh my goodness. Boy, this just does not want to cooperate at all over here, does it? Okay. So if you run into an issue like I just did, may have to destroy things to remake things. Okay. Fill everything in. You can leave those empty if you want, or you can fill them in. It's up to you at that point. Totally fine. Grab yourself a copycat layer. We're gonna place a... Oh my goodness. Can we not? Like that. A level 2. And then we're gonna grab hold of this copycat slice again. We want that slice to go off of there like that. So it's not on the, what we call it, the copycat boards there. But it's kind of just like hanging off of it, if you will. Click it twice. We can grab a copycat vertical slice as well. We want to do one here, one next to it, one here, one next to it. Grab the azurine pillar, fill those in, and just click them until they look like a ladder shape. Like that. Excellent. Click twice on these pieces here. Like so. And then we can go ahead and grab the stacked half layers. Put a couple of temporary blocks here. 2, 3. Oops. And that's your tender. Your tender is done. You want to just grab yourself the copycats headstocks. Put one there, there, and then the screw lead coupler again. Grab yourself some red dye. It's important. To make them look like Thomas characters, you just dye their buffers. That's Edward. Now, you can add a blue canvas sign right here, and I'll put a link in the description for these numbers. You can either have them be glowy, like I do, or you can just go ahead and remove the glow with just a regular sign. I like the way the glow looks. I think it's kind of snazzy. It makes things pop. I just think it looks neat. This schematic will be available on my Patreon. And it will come with these old school Sodor coaches. So Edward will be releasing with these coaches. I'm just going to schematic this exactly like that. You'll be able to place these in your world, as both of these were built, both Edward and the coaches were built in the Creataholics mod pack, and the Project Bubbdor mod pack is a little bit more advanced than the Creataholics mod pack, so it'll definitely work in both. Alright, so how to glue Edward. It's actually pretty simple. What we want to do is we want to place a temporary block right here on this slice, and then a temporary block right here on this slice. Glue the roof together like that. Remove your temporary blocks. Place a temporary here, and then place a temporary here. Glue those together like that. Get rid of your temporaries. Take your glue from one of the roof pieces up here on this front part and connect it to the base of Edward or the bottom of Edward. Run some glue to the smokestack so that it stays. Now the reason we've made this shape with the glue is so we can take some copycat slices and just go 1, 2, 1. And then now those are stuck to the glue, and you don't have to worry about gluing them any special way or anything. So that just is gonna build out Edward's cab roof. Just give him a little bit more shape, if you will, whatever you want to call it. And then to do the tender, temporary block here, temporary block here, connect the two of them, and remove your blocks. And that is how you glue Edward. And take him for a quick drive. There we go. That is how we glue Edward. This concludes the video. Again, remember, if you like the video, please like the video. If you dislike the video, dislike the video. Thanks everybody so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, love you, bye! Have you ever wondered what it would be like to see Henry the Green Engine chugging along through your Minecraft world? Well, get ready to be amazed. In this video, we're diving into the Create mod to build a fully functional Henry, which will showcase the incredible detail and power of this mod. Let's go! Alright, to start things off, what we want to do is we want to grab a double axle. We want to go medium standard. Place that there. Count back 4 rails. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to grab a triple axle long 060 driver. Place that there. Click this part 3 times, and then click your rail so that it gets bigger, and it stays like that for now for our rotational glitch fix. We want to hop up here above the bogie, place a slab down on either side. So, oh, whoops. Like that. Take a copycat panel, go off of that slab on either side there, and take a copycat bite and place a copycat bite. Oh, whoops, other way. Like this, and then like that. We have the beginnings of our pilot there. The next thing we want to do is just fill these in with our polished cut diorite. Perfect. On top of here, what we want to do is we want to place a layer, a full slab layer of these copycat stacked half layers. And then what we want to do is place another one right on top of that. And then rinse and repeat. You may have to place down a temporary block or two able to do this next part. But essentially what you want to do is place those there, and then that's the bottom of your smoke box there, this part right here. Perfect. The next thing that we want to do is we're going to grab ourselves a copycat half layer, and we're going to place that like so. And then that's going to be the beginning of our first wheel cover right here. So that way we have these little arches over top of our wheels. Next thing we want to do is just extend back our temporary blocks here. We want to place down these stacked half layers like this, and then we're going to just repeat what we did before on the other side here. So that way we're like that. Place that down like that. Essentially, we want to try and have 2 blocks up like this all the time. And then we're going to place in our next set of these. Place in the next row of doubles. Like so. And then that's going to take us to the back of the boiler. Perfect. We're going to now take our temporary blocks and just run those back even further. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create the old shape slope. And we're just going to bring that up like so. 6, and then 4. So that way you have a nice gradual bump up. Like that. And then that way you've got the top of your old shape slope good to go. Fill the bottom in where you can't see anything with your diorite piece, and then we're going to grab a hold of the lime slashed logo metal, place that in on your bumps here. Make sure to shift right click to have the textures disconnect, and then we're going to grab our lime copper wrapped logo metal, place our little stripes in. Perfect. Alright, now we're going to fill in the rest of our smoke box here. Click your stacked half layer 3 times, 2 times. Take your black loco metal smoke box, place it in so that way it connects and makes like a unified shape, like so. We're going to grab a hold of a copper brass wrapped, well, you can do whatever color you want really. Yours is going to have to look like this. I have a texture pack a private texture pack that allows me to have a smaller smokestack. So that's what that's going to look like for me, but it will look different for you. We're going to click down twice across the top, a layer of 2. Right here, we want to grab a lime loco metal smoke box, and actually, wait, does this need to be 3? Yeah, it does. So it's actually a layer of 3 all the way across, like that. Then run your copycat layers across like so. Every other one is the striped, and then every other one is the slashed green. This guy up here is going to be the loco metal smoke box like that, and then you're just going to match the tops here. And I mean, shoot, you're already cooking pretty well along here. Grab yourself the copycat stacked half layer. Run this all the way along the side here, like so. Grab a red slash to the middle. Fill that in all the way down like that. With your lime copper wrapped. Run that all the way up there like that. We can actually remove that back one in favor of our whistle. And then we're going to make sure that those disconnect like that. So that it's like our striping is even all the way across there. You know what? I think that's layers. It is layers. 6. My apologies. There, that looks a little bit better. A little bit shorter. I'm gonna grab a fluid tank and a whistle and a candle. We want a yellow candle. Place our fluid tank there. Whistle there. Right click so it's the big one. And then put 2 candles on top. And there's your little whistle for Henry. Looks pretty neat, huh? Alright, let's focus a little bit on our cab here. So on our back one here, we're going to go ahead and grab a hold of the copycat bite panel. The reason being is because we want to have kind of a slope that goes down. Oh, actually we can do that. So I'm going to place a temporary block there. And then I'm going to just also place a couple temporary blocks there. What we want to do here is we want to just build up the side shape of Henry's cab. And we want to make sure that this goes back 3 like that, leaving that little gap there, and then up like that. So your shape is going to look like this. Make sure to pause to just get this correct. We'll remove our temporary blocks. And what we're going to do is we're just going to fill these in like so with our lime striped. We're going to grab the flat lime riveted locomotive, run that up the side like that. Actually, run that up that side like that. Grab our slash, run that up that side like that. And then run our red stripe like that. Perfect. We're going to grab a copycat vertical half layer. You can keep those temporaries there if you wanted to, or to have them taken out. It's up to you. You're going to place these 2 copycat vertical half layers with your birch window panes on the inside like that. Honestly, you could do a copycat layer. I just did the vertical half layers. I don't know why. I just thought it would look, you know, it just at the time, it's just what I did. So, no big deal. We're going to grab our copycat slice, as well as our half layers, and a layer, and let's place a roof. Just some temporary blocks. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. Those temporary blocks. I like to do the deep slate tiles on the top, or on the roof rather. You can do whatever color you'd like. I just like the texturing. And make sure that you complete this, or duplicate everything on the other side, and then that's pretty much going to complete your Henry right there. We'll move on to the tender in just a minute. What we want to do is grab ourselves the lime slash locometal, and we're going to replace the inner block here because I totally forgot. With the lime slash locometal. Actually, might need to do that one like that. Yeah, we do. Oh, we also need to do the front. Who let me forget to do the front? Jeez. Okay. 2, 3, like so. Place down a stacked layer like that. So that way it's. Is that 2 or is that 1? That was 1. Oh, my apologies. Alright. So that's a 1, and then that's a level 2. Place those suckers in like that. Grab yourself a kitchen hood. Fill those in. And then grab yourself a deep slate corner trim. And fill those in and turn them around. So you got your little shapes there. We're going to grab ourselves a buffer. Screw link coupler. Some red dye. A copycat vertical slice. And fill those vertical slices with the black locomotive smoke box. And there, now your Henry is basically complete. We'll work on the interior of the cab as well as the tender after I duplicate the other side. The interior Henry's cab is just going to be placing down some copycat panels. I again chose to use the deep slate tiles. Grab yourself a blast furnace, place that underneath the whistle. Place down a couple of copycat stacked half layers, making sure to do the flat line riveted on the bottom, and then your birch window panes on the top, flipping them sideways so that they're the bigger version of that window. Grab a copycat layer, shift right click with the flat riveted locometal for lime. Place down your train controls on either side, as well as a seat on either side. And then your Henry is done. Now for the tender. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to run another copycat panel on back towards here. We're going to place down our reversing train controls, fill it in with the same floor block that you used a moment ago, place a temporary block here, out, temporary block like this, run it all the way back, a couple of them, and then you want that to be placing like that. That's like the cold door, if you will. Alright, from here, just run a bunch of temporaries back there. It's just 4 or 5, doesn't matter. We want to grab a double axle, medium trailing, place it back, count back 1, 2 from that copycat panel that you just put down there, and then you're going to grab a single trailing and just place it right there. That's going to give the illusion of the larger 3-wheel tender for Henry. Fill in the gaps there with some girders. What that's going to do is just kind of fill things in. No one's really going to see it, but you'll know it's there. Okay, now in order to make this little shape right here, so that way it's a symmetrical area for the 3 to go in, what you're going to do is you're just going to place down on these temporary blocks some copycat half layers all the way up, and then 1, 2, 4 down here. And then what that's going to do is it's going to create a continuous connective texture for your lime locomotive with that brass lining there. And you're just going to repeat that all the way down the side of the tender. Now we're going to go ahead and just make another one of these right on top of this. Once you have this odd shape, what we're going to do is we're going to remove the texture on the inside, fill that with coal, grab ourselves a copycat layer that preferably does not have that lime locomotive, fill it with coal, give Henry some coal, like so, and then take your stacked half layer and kind of just go nuts. Give yourself some levels there, so that way you've got a coal, like it looks like he has coal in his tender. Repeat that on the other side, of course, but for right now, we're going to place down one panel on the back here, and then one panel right above it on all 3 sides here, just placing a temporary block for right now. And then we're going to grab the lime riveted locomotive, temporary block, lime riveted locomotive, place that next one, that, so that way it's up on top like that. We're gonna grab a polished blackstone button and a side ladder, button on either side, ladder going up, run the flat riveted along the bottom there, slashed along the top, and then we're going to grab ourselves stacked half layer. Actually, it's gonna be a different way. Yes, like that. Run those along like that. Grab a copycat layer. That right there. 2. Temporary block. 1, and then we're going to grab, just put down a temporary stacked half layer right there. Okay, there. So bottom, take off the top ones, slashed green locomotive all the way along the sides here. Then we're gonna do copycat layer twice, temporary block on top of that guy so we can place that one. And then we're going to do a copycat layer here, slashed, temporary. Perfect. Now just come into your cab, the back of your cab, grab yourself a copycat headstock, try to get it on the higher side there, block, and then just rinse and repeat onto the other side to complete the tender. Alright, now that our tender is complete, just don't forget to make sure that you put the buffers on the back here, and then off with some red dye, so that way it matches the front. Make sure that you put down was it? Deep slate tile stairs. Actually, let's just do this. So deep slate tile stairs on the back on either side there. And then I just went with a scorchia pillar in the middle just for some extra texture. It really does not matter. Grab yourself the copycat headstock. I went down a little bit further, but you can go up if you wanted to. I wanted the texture showing. Dye them red. Then you have a couple of different options for the sign. You can just put a 3 from the Design and Decor mod, or you can grab the Thomas Numbers texture pack on my Patreon to make the number 3 look like the Thomas number, or you can get creative with a framed sign and give yourself a different number 3. Whatever you want to do, the choice is up to you. Personally, for these builds, I've been going with the framed sign with just a little bit of custom text on there to make that number 3. But you can do whatever you'd like on Henry's Tender because it is your build. Do with it as you wish when you're building it. But that's going to complete our Henry. To glue him, super easy. We're going to place a temporary block here and a temporary block. Actually, we don't need a temporary block. We're going to get rid of all the glue that's apparently here. Oh my goodness. Jeez. Okay, click this slice. Bring the glue all the way to that guy. And then Henry is glued. The next guy is gonna go right there, temporary block, to temporary block, boop. Wait, sorry, boop. Boop. Did that before? Oh, wait a second. I know what I did. Like this. Right there, yeah. So 1 to 2. That is your Henry put together and ready to drive. Now, if you wanted to do the new shape, really all you would need to do is just change a couple of things. And this is where it can be as creative of a process as you'd like it to be. What I did here was I did copycat bites in like a half stair kind of thing. I'll show you here. We did a layer like that. And fill that in with the polished cut diorite. Fill that guy in. It does not matter what color, because we're not going to see it anyway. Oop, wrong side. Run that like that. Run that like that. Oh, it does not matter. See it. That's going to go like that. Grab yourself a copycat layer. Run that out like that. And then we're going to grab a copycat half layer, which is this guy right here. Place that half layer here, up to 3. And that's going to pretty much be your new shape. You can take these splashers off if you'd like. Matt the Gamer Train had asked that I take the splashers off when building this version of Henry, just because Black 5 doesn't have splashers, and everybody knows that the new shape of Henry is a Black 5. So you can just rearrange those to however you want to look. Like so. Actually should be like this. That. And then that's basically your shape Henry. You're going to want to switch up this guy, so you'll keep this one and to that one. 5. It's your new shape. Oh, I lowered this down as well. You can also run a copycat slice along there and fill it in with some white locomotive smoke box. And then I did the copycat slope layers to do the piston heads. I did the copycat slope there. That on either side. And then that is your new shape as well as your old shape. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. Actually, I don't know. The schematics will be on my Patreon as well, but you know, pretty much just do whatever you'd like with the design and the shaping and everything. It's your build. Make it how you'd like it to be. Yeah. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, please like the video. If you dislike the video, please dislike the video. Until then, or until next time, I've been Bubbycraft. You've been you. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good one. See you later. Bye. Good evening, everybody. My name is Bubbycraft, and tonight we're gonna build Gordon, the 80th anniversary style to be exact. And you know, we're gonna do this just a little bit differently because we're gonna start with Henry. Now, I went and started to do this tutorial, and I said to myself, this is so similar to the Henry build. Why don't I turn this tutorial, instead of a tutorial in how to build Gordon, because it's literally just the same exact thing as Henry with a few minor details changed, why don't we turn this into a tutorial for how to do schematics, and then we will go over the coaches, the express coaches. Now, I'm not going to be releasing the ones that are on the back of Gordon here because these are special for our Project Bubbdor server team, but I will be releasing a copy, or a version rather, of the express coaches alongside Gordon, as well as some coaches that will match up with the Season 2 red and white theme. So that way you're able to have just a little bit of, you know, a little couple of different things to mess around with, as well as a brown variant for the Great Western Railway. You know, maybe I'll save those for Duck. Yeah, I'll probably save those for Duck, actually. So just expect the green and the red ones to come out. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to start by learning how to schematic something and paste a schematic in your world. So to start that, what you're going to do is you're going to grab the schematic and quill, and you're going to place the block, the little ghost block that appears, you're going to place that in the corner of the build that you want a schematic. Now you're going to right click, and when you right click, you'll notice that that ghost block stays right where it is. From there, what you want to do, or what I try to do, is I come to the other side, and then I just kind of walk my way backwards, and then I stop at the back corner, and I right click again. You see how that color changed on the schematic, or on the ghost block, and then now I can move around and that ghost block no longer follows me. So what you can do now is you can hold down Shift while you're in the air, so crouch and hold down spacebar if you're in creative mode like me and you want to go up in the air, or you can just tower up if you're in survival. And you're going to crouch and you're going to pull back on your mouse wheel, and you see how the ghost block gets taller. You push the mouse wheel forward and the ghost block gets shorter. So basically just take that ghost block up to the top of the thing that you want a schematic, and then once you're satisfied that you have everything, you're going to right click one more time, and that's going to bring up the schematic name menu. Now I generally name my schematic 0_0 so that the more important ones stay up in the front, and the ones that I just schematic just all willy-nilly, like different pieces and parts that I need to move around and everything, I just name them, regular names. So if I want something to be up in the front, like if it's important, like if it's a locomotive, I just do 0_0 because nothing else is going to be ahead of that name-wise in your name menu. Just computer reasons and whatnot. You probably can figure out a character combination to be ahead of that in the name menu, but this is what I do. You do you. Now, if you want to be able to search for your schematic in your schematic folder easily, then you can go ahead and you put a space in between that 0_0, and then it's just easier to search for Henry or whatever. Or if you just don't really care, then just put the word Henry afterwards. And then you click your check mark here to save it. I already have 1,000,000 schematics for Henry, so we're not going to worry about saving that. And now I'm going to show you how to pull that schematic out. What you're going to do is you're going to come to your schematic table, you're going to right click it, you're going to place an empty schematic inside here, and then you'll scroll through your massive list of schematics, and you're going to just find the schematic that you need. And I need the one called Henry Old Shape, this guy right here. And then you're just going to hit the check mark. It will load that schematic, and you'll place that in your inventory. Now to place a schematic for a locomotive, what you can do is what I like to do anyway, is I like to put the station in build mode so that I have this blue line. You'll take the schematic and you're going to right click, and that's going to generate the ghost locomotive in front of you. Then you can just hold down the left Alt button to switch in between the different selections. If you're in creative mode, you'll see this print option to be able to just print the schematic without any cost. If you're in survival, your mouse will stop at mirror and go all the way back to move XZ. So you're going to just rotate your schematic, move your schematic back so that the front wheel, the middle of the front wheel, is over top of that blue line, and then just lower it down onto the tracks. Again, if you're in creative mode, you would just hit print. If you were not in creative mode, then you would just load your schematic into the schematic cannon and proceed forward with the schematic cannon from there. Now, in the Project Bubbdor mod pack, anytime you paste a schematic into the world, the Extended Bogies mod is not going to paste the correct bogey into the world for you. So you're going to unfortunately have to delete that back bogey. We're going to choose the long 060 driver, and we're going to right click that into the world. Now, what we can do is, what I like to do just to get this to look better is I rotate the bogie and then I right click to make it come up. But when we assemble the train, sometimes this piston head is going to be back here and it's going to be like it's rotated. So, you know, no big deal. But we've got the locomotive in build mode, and you've just learned how to successfully copy and paste your Henry into the world. So with this copied in, or with this pasted in Henry, what you're going to do now is you're going to completely remove all of the colors except for the red. You can keep the red and the white and the black on the smoke box. So leave the pilot completely alone. So you're going to keep these bytes filled in, leave the buffers, leave these things, get rid of anything that's green, and we'll come back when we have a locomotive completely devoid of color. Alright, now that we have our Henry completely devoid of all color, what we're going to do is we're going to just shift right click that boiler bobble there, and we're going to move it up 1, and you're just going to extend that up by 2. So that way you have Gordon's boiler dome. And then we're going to add in some copycat slices all the way down. Make sure to remove the black locomotive smoke box from those front two. Just run that all the way back. What we're going to do now is we're going to remove this guy here, and we're just going to hop down inside of the old Henry and remove the rest of the green color that's sitting inside of him. So that way there's just no mistaking that this is Gordon at all. So we're just going to add a couple random pieces of blue local metal, and we're going to pop out. Once you've popped back out, what we can do is we are going to try to match up what we've got going on over there for the other Gordon. We're going to place 2 blue slashed, then blue copper, then blue slashed, then blue copper. Throw yourself in the spectator. Realize that your server's not cooperating. Alright, get yourself out of the inside of the boiler, and then you're just going to replace the level 2 copycat layer there, and we're going to continue we're just going to continue coloring Gordon. So where you've got those colors that you just placed, you're now just going to put in that same color on the outside, run it all the way up and all the way back across, just like so. Switching over to our copper wrapped. Like so, and like so. For our larger wheel covers here, place the copper wrapped. For the smaller ones, place the blue. For the inside of the boiler dome, just place down the blue locomotive smoke box. And for these, just put down white locomotive smoke box inside of them. Just like so. Now we need to alter the back part of Henry here to match up with what Gordon looks like. So you're going to take a hold of one of these guys. Just extend it all the way out to match that middle guy, like so. And then we're going to place the copper wrapped inside of it. And then we're going to remove this piece right here. Next thing that we're going to do is we're going to place down one more of those guys all the way up, like so. And we're we're gonna just create that shape by doing that. So we're gonna fill that in with the copper wrapped locomotive. And then we're going to remove that and fill those two in with copper wrapped locomotive as well. So one thing that you can do here as well, because this is going to get connected and stuck. How did I do this on this one? Stacked half layer, half layer. Oh, that's right. I totally forgot. I totally forgot. I didn't do it that way because it was stuck that way. So I came in with the stacked or the copycat half layer and I just went down like this. And then you don't have that connective texture issue right there. So we're just going to repeat the same thing on the other side. And you want it to come down to that piece of red metal there. Just like so. Grab yourself a copycat bite panel. We're going to place that bite panel right there. Wait a second. Right there. And then place another bite panel right there. Repeating the same thing on the other side. Remove that guy. Remove that guy. Place one there. And place one there. Grab your red locomotive. Fill those in. Realize that you forgot one small piece of green and remove that. Now we're going to grab our copper wrapped one more time. We're going to just make a really big shape here to fill in that big square. And then we're going to grab the flat blue and fill in that gap. Repeat the same thing on the other side. Really big square and flat blue. Now, the next thing we can do here is we can grab the flat blue one more time, fill in those little pieces just so there's a little bit of extra blue, and you have a choice to make. You can choose to leave the windows exactly like they are on all the other ones, or you can choose to make your own style of window. It's completely up to you. It's your build. Do with it as you wish. So another thing that we can do as well, there, yeah, that's what I did, is we can come in the cab and we're going to grab this stuff here, fill that in like that, and then we're going to break this block right here and just fill those in the back. Now the reason we broke that block there is because we need to grab ourselves a casing, train casing, and we want to put the medium single bogie there. So we're going to grab the single axle, medium single, and right click right there. Now you've got your bogey, your trailing bogey for Gordon, right where that block was that you just removed. Remember to just walk around the locomotive and fill in any details that might be missing color with the correct color that you're going to need. And then that is your Gordon complete. See how similar that was to Henry? There was really no point in making an actual build tutorial for Gordon when he's basically just the same exact thing as Henry. So what we're going to do now is we're going to fix this tender by removing that top back one there and that top back one there. And it's up to you at this point. You can either leave the back layers here jutting out quite a bit, or what you can do is just do a copycat panel instead so that they're a little bit more shrunk in but still sticking out from the other ones. And that's what I'm going to do here. Remember to grab a hold of the polished blackstone button and the andesite ladder. Remove those. Take your flat blue, place that in, replace the smoke box color, and then just put your details back. You don't really need to worry about the color on the inside of the tender, but if you are super worried about it, then at this time what you can do is just take those out. Like so, all the way forward. It really does not matter. And then just fill the back panel in with some color. Like that. And place your ladder back. Fill in the inner part of the tender with the copper wrapped. The outer part of the tender is going to be the slashed blue, and then the lower stripe of the tender is going to be red. And it's really as simple as that. A lot of my ideas come from just recycling other things that I've done, and if I like the way they look, I keep them that way. If I need to change them up, then I change them up. There you go, your Gordon's done. The only thing you need to do now is just fix the glue. So we're going to grab the glue, we're going to keep the tender glued, because remember, all you did was you copied Henry exactly the way he was, and you pasted him over here. So this is the exact same glue that was on Henry, now over here on Gordon. So you're just going to left click the glue on Gordon to remove it completely. And then what we're going to do is, as you can see here, we're isolating that back bogey, so that way it's not touching any of the glue that's inside of the other stuff here. So if we assemble this, we see that we've got the 3 bogies in the front and the 2 on the back tender. So what we want to do is we are going to place a temporary block here, and then we're going to put a, where's that, right there? Yeah, right there. Temporary block there. We're going to right click the glue on the front here because that's attached to the locomotive, and then right click that block there to have our first bead of glue. The next thing we want to do is we want to glue the back of the locomotive a little bit separately here. So we're going to take a bead of glue off of this piece of the roof, and we're going to come down here, and we're going to right click, right, you know what, we need a temporary block. We're going to place a temporary block, again, from this guy to that temporary block. So now that part of the cab is connected to the front, but we did not connect the glue to that back bogie. We're going to do the same thing again. Temporary block. Glue from that temporary up to the second piece of the cab. And now both pieces of that cab are connected to Gordon. So if I were to come here and hit assemble train, we now have 3 bogies on the same train. We're going to remove our temporary blocks. And what we need to also do is we just need to make sure that we connect the rest of the cab to the inside of the locomotive. Otherwise, it's not going to get the back of the roof and so on. So we're going to grab from this piece of the cab right here. And we're just going to click to right there. Oh, wait, hold on. From this piece of the roof there to that guy right there. Wait a second. No, my apologies. This piece of the roof there to just that piece right there. Now everything is connected together. Right? Cooperate, please. Okay, we'll connect you to that. Fine. Right click, assemble. Get in you, Gordon. And just give him a little test drive forward. Ow, I forgot to glue the furnace. Oopsie. So we'll just bring Gordon back into the station. Grab our glue. Once it's back in build mode, we can actually just click from here. You know what, let's put a temporary block, and then from here to here. And that's going to get that furnace. So once more, we'll assemble the locomotive. We'll get inside, and we'll see that now Gordon is completely glued. And you've got the 3 bogies on your Gordon. So that is how you build Gordon. And the coaches here, just to show you an example of how you can do coaches, you can have what are called the corridor coaches or corridor type, where you're walking down through and you've got different cabins for your passengers. You can make coaches that look like that. And you can just do really all kinds of things with the coaches. These, again, are the coaches that are on the Project Bubbdor server, private server for members of the team. And I'll be releasing the same exact outer shell, just completely different inside. So, there you go. If you like this video, please like the video. Remember, this is being built from Henry, so check out the video tutorial for Henry, which was posted about a month ago. And if you have any questions or comments or anything, just leave me a comment in the video below here. You know, all the stuff and things. I appreciate y'all. Thank you all for being here, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks very much, and K love you. Bye! One more thing, I totally forgot. Make sure to add your frame sign to the back here. Fill it in with your numbering of choice. And there you go. So this version of Gordon right here with the number and everything will be available on my Patreon for download. And yeah, thanks very much for watching. Okay, now for real, okay, love you, bye! Good evening, everybody. My name is Bubby Craft, and tonight we are building James. And this is going to be the new version of James for the 80th anniversary series. This is going to be a combination of the basis for James as well as the TV series version of James. So it's kind of like a real world TV series combination, if you will. A lot of cool features, a lot of cool things, a lot of cool stuff. Let's get into building. Alright, so a couple of things actually before we start building. Thing number one, I really wanted this video and this tutorial to be on the new version of Project Bubbdor with Create version 6.06 as well as Guido's mod Create Blocks and Bogies. Unfortunately, due to some mod error conflicts and some mods that we absolutely need, such as the stuff you see behind me, kind of mostly all of the really important stuff that's, you know, gonna mean a lot of work for Bubby and the team to fix and update. I can't exactly release the new version of Project Bubbdor just quite yet. So we are on the most recently released version of Project Bubbdor with the mod Extended Bogies. Now, if you download that mod pack from CurseForge, the link will be in the description as always. You will have Extended Bogies already inside that mod pack, and you will be able to build this locomotive exactly as I tell you here in the instructional tutorial. I also want to call out that this video is actually sponsored by Viper Hosting, who has been so graciously able to host the Bubbdor server for me, as well as partner with me to provide you with amazing, absolutely awesome, reliable, high performance hosting. It is so cool. They literally ensure an absolutely seamless, lag-free experience, and they have excellent customer support. Shout out Toby, what's up? Yes, his name is Toby. Oh my god, it's so cool. So yeah, huge shout out to Viper Hosting, and many thanks for partnering with me on today's video here for James. It would have been cool if this was for the Toby video, but we'll say hi to Toby in the Toby video, which will be coming up soon. Alright, on to the tutorial. Alright, to start off, we want to grab ourselves a train casing and pick the small 020 standard bogie. We're going to place that down, and as always with extended bogies, you can't really rotate anything until after you're done and whatnot, so we're going to pretend that that looks like that. The next thing that we want to do is we want to grab ourselves a triple axle pistonless 060 driver, and we want to go ahead and click this middle rail to make it large and in charge, because James's big wheels are the theme, or rather the big wheels are the theme for the 80th anniversary Thomas and Friends collection. So from here, we are going to now take a copycat layer and place a border all the way around these guys, just like so. And to show you how I got them to look like this, you just go up underneath like so and click twice, so you have a level 2 copycat layer. And essentially what this will be doing is it's going to allow you to then place a double layer of the copycat slices all the way down James, just like that. And actually we're going to leave out this back one here because we're going to be making the ladder and everything for him in a little while here. So we're gonna do that. And once we have our border, we are gonna place down our 2 buffers and then our coupler, and we will move on to filling this in with the polished cut diorite from the chipped mod. So we have ourselves the white running board. Sorry, the terminology is kind of escaping me at the moment. I'm sure you'll tell me in the comments. And then our back side here, more of the inside of the cab rather, is going to be our favorite deep slate tiles. Boom. Now let's go ahead and grab the crimsite pillar, and we want to just click it so that it fills things in and the texture looks all nice and grainy, like so. I'm saying like so an awful lot, aren't I? Tell me in the comments how many times I say like so. I'm curious. There. Perfect. Alright, let's grab the next set of blocks to do the next step. Okay, for our next step, we're going to place down our little flare pieces, fill those in with the black locometal smoke box, run a bead of red locometal down through there, and let's actually grab some red dye really fast. And we're going to boop that red dye right in there like so. We're going to take a copycat slice and double it up on either side here. And then we are going to grab the black locometal smoke box yet again and fill those in to have James's little front doohickey things. And I know you guys are going to tell me exactly what those are called in the comments, so engage with me in the comments, like the video, subscribe if you're new here, do the stuff and things, it's amazing. So anyway, moving on, we're going to bring this part out here to number 6. We want to be able to just sort of kind of see that little bit of wood grain texture. And then we're going to fill that in like that. Actually, you know what? That is the black riveted locometal. Oh my Lanta, he's moving things up in the world. Oh, and it's actually not even that one. Oh my goodness. It is this guy here. Perfect. Look at that. Look at that. We've got some texturing. We've got some amazing texturing, and you know what? I think we used the polished one there. That was just the copycat half layer up to be like a stair. It makes sense in the long run, I promise. And you know what? I think I actually even put those on the wrong way. We want to go, nope, not like that. We want to go out like that. Loop that back twice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fill it in with your polished black locometal. Make sure your little wood grain thing is sticking out there just for a little bit of fun, a little bit of texturing, a little bit of nonsense, you know. 8, and then 1 more. And then we want to fill that in with the black locometal smoke box. Just like that. And then we are going to put a piece of black locometal smoke box here, 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 and here. And that is your James. Your tutorial is complete. And he looks absolutely amazing, don't you agree? Look at that. The perfect create mod locomotive. And if you believe that, I'll tell you another one. Anyway. The next thing we want to do is we want to place down one of the wood burner smokestacks and right click it so that it stops puffing in your face, and then shift right click the cold burner smokestack on top of that. You can either leave it puffing in your face, or you can just right click it really quick to turn it off, and you can now focus on what you're doing. Take an empty copycat headstock and you want to place it on the bottom of that wood burning smokestack. on all 3 sides of said wood-burning smokestack. Now click on the front side here, on the side here, front side here, side here. You've just created a smoke box for your James. Amazing! I know, it's absolutely awesome. The next thing we want to do is we want to remove our little joke. Place a full block there, just because that'll be a full block in the long run anyway. And now we're going to clear our hotbar and grab our next set of items. Alright, with our next set of items, we're going to start by placing a copycat layer on the top of this at level 6. So that way you have that little slopey doodad there, and fill that in with a polished red locometal. Take your copycat stacked half layer, and you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The reason you want to make sure that it connects up with the little border that we made before. We're going to fill that in with the red copper wrapped locometal. I have a texture pack that is available on my Patreon that turns the red copper wrapped locometal into red black wrapped locometal, however you want to call it. But anyway, it gives James a more James-like look. Okay. Do the same thing here and repeat on the other side. And now you have your wheel covers, splashers, whatever you want to call them. The next thing we'll do is we're just going to click out 3 right here. Actually, no, I'm sorry. We want to click out 4 because we want it to coincide with this little steppy-do here. Like that. And you're going to fill it in with your polished red locometal. From here out, I'm just going to do this side of James, so that I'm not wasting your time by doing both sides at the same time. Next step, we want to place in a couple of temporary blocks because we want to finish building this boiler and we want it to look cool. So we're going to go on to level 2 like so. Actually, no, he's in level 3, isn't he? Did I do the little thingy? I did not do the little thingy. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then we want 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the reason we're doing 5 there is because... Oh, it's actually not even the right one. Oh my goodness. Look at me. I'm failing left and right. Like that. Perfect. And then we're going to come out on this side. Do the same thing. So fill it in all the way. Give yourself that shape just like that. And that is going to give us kind of the back slope there on the back of James's boiler. I guess you could call it the top of the firebox, whatever you want to call it. You know, it's your locomotive, call it whatever you want. And we're gonna fill that in like that. So we've got our distinguishing gold stripes, but also some other things making everything look unique, fun, different, etc., etc. Fill this in with the plated red locometal just to give yourself a little bit more texturing and a little bit more pizzazz on your James. Again, this is you're building this. You're following along. You're building this yourself. You do whatever you want. If you want your James to be black and yellow like the Bumblebee James, if you want him to be purple and green because of Halloween, heck, do whatever you want. This is your train. You're building this, following this tutorial. Make him however you want. But if you want to follow along and do exactly as I do, then pay attention. Okay. Moving right along. We're going to now remove our temporary blocks here on the side. So look at that. We have a little bit of a cavern. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Can you believe it? We have a cavern. Wait. Hello! Hello! We have a little bit of a cavernous peek through on the boiler. Another thing we can do here is we can grab ourselves a block of brass and just boop that in place like that. And then 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that with the copycat layer. Grab yourself a copycat wooden pressure plate or whatever kind of pressure plate you want. Place that on top of your boiler bobble. And yes, I still call it a boiler bobble because I know how much it irritates you guys. Steam dome. So we'll put it on top of the steam dome, and we will now move on to our next set of... Oh wait, actually, you know what? We do want to go ahead and come in here, just boop that out of there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can do this if you want to. It's not necessary. You don't have to. I just am because I can. That one's probably going to get removed, honestly. So we're going to do that. 1, 2. It is just a thing you can do. Fill that back in. We're going to fill those in like that. That actually needs to be brass wrapped like that. And then we're going to grab our next set of blocks. All right, from here, and actually I do need to get rid of that. Look at that. See, we're already fixing things. From here, we want to place a tank like that. Remove this piece because I was an idiot and added it. And you want to place your whistle in there like that to get this shape on the firebox for James, and to be able to add his little decorative little, you know, thingy at the very top there, just like you see in the TV show. Or you can do like we did with Chongo James and have it poking out the top here, much like the basis model that James is based on. So in other words, you could go like that if you wanted to have it look more like the basis. Now me, on the other hand, I'm gonna be different and difficult, obviously, because that's exactly what I do. And I'm gonna fill that in like that, and then I'm gonna add the little hoo-hoo thingy whistle majigger on the top of the roof cab, whatever, once we get there. All right, now we want to grab boop, place that like that. We're gonna pretend that the roof is already done, and I'm gonna grab a brass support and just boop that in there like that. And then this one is the crimsite pillar. Look at that, we've given him some eyebrows. Sweet. All right, the next step that we want to take is we want to start building the cab. Okay, we also want to grab a hold of one of these copycat bite panels, place a bite panel there, place a bite panel there, realize that it's messed up, place a temporary block, and then place 4 more bite panels right there. The reason that you want to place the temporary or the bite panels like that is because you want to be able to have that as a connecting shape to make your final little wheel cover splasher, whatever you want to call it. Then we're going to grab a copycat vertical half layer. Okay, temporary block, and then a copycat vertical half layer, and boop that on there like that. We also want to grab one of these. We're going to place a copycat headstock right there. Get rid of that like that. Boom. We're going to grab the red slashed locomotive, make it look like a smoke box door, and fill that in like that. Grab yourself another piece of crimsite pillar. Realize that you did the wrong thing. Grab the crimsite pillar again. And there you go. Now, another temporary block here. Grab another copycat vertical half layer, fill it with the crimsite pillar, and then basically the side of your cab is just about finished. What you want to do is run a couple of these little guys along the side there. We want to grab one of the one of these, and we're going to remove that and just boop that into existence. And then you realize that you've placed your copycat slices in the wrong spot, as well as your copycat corner slice. And then, you know, you're realizing left and right that you're just destroying everything as you go. But then you remember that you're watching a video by Bubbycraft, and it wouldn't be a video or a stream by Bubbycraft if there wasn't at least 500 things going wrong at any given time. Now we're going to just make the basic roof that we've made for literally every single one of these builds that I've built. Every locomotive that I've built, rather, since I started building locomotives. It looks good. I like it. We're going to keep doing it. If you don't like it, again, it's your build. Build it however you want. So there, you can do that with the roof, and that looks fine. That's fantastic. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. We can move on. You can tell your mom or your dad or whoever that you made a super cool locomotive, and this is what it's looking like so far. One of the cool things that Mr. Brad did, you know, because Brad is on the team and he's amazing, is he made the roof just ever so slightly different by removing these little guys here, and we're going to place a temporary block or two just to be safe. So what he did was he went up like this, up like, oh, hold on, up one higher there, one higher there, normal height there. We have polished deep slate now in the middle, and then the deep slate tiles on either side there. Take that down a notch, and the back of the roof just matches up to there like that. And then we grab ourselves the copycat slices to level 2, put them in there like that, and then that is your new amazing awesome roof. Shout out to Brad for doing a fantastic job as always. You know, oh, that's a copycat slice, that's not a copycat corner or whatever. There you go. A super cool, super awesome, super kind of almost not what Brad did. There you go. A new roof. It looks neat. I like it. We're moving on. Let's grab our next set of blocks. Okay, we're going to come into the cab now. Fill that guy in like that. Fill those two in. Boom. Bang, bang. And grab yourself a slim oak window. And just rotate it so that way you have a little peekaboo. See that? Look at that. Your James is starting to look pretty fantastic, wouldn't you say? I think you would say. I really think you would say. Grab yourself a train control, stick one there, put a seat behind it, and then shift right click another train control behind that seat. And there you go. Your James by himself without the tender is complete and looks spiffy diffy and awesome saucy. Again, I'm only gonna do the side here. Oh wait. Boom, we forgot a space. Oh my gosh. Don't forget to write your congressman. Tell him that Bubby forgot a step. You know, there wouldn't be a Bubbycraft video if there wasn't a forgotten step. Alright. Let's move on to the tender, and I'm going to go ahead and just fill this in and be right back with you. Alright, so let's go ahead and place on just a quick back here. And I do want to also call out that you can, if you want to hide this glue, you can just boop that down like that to, you know, hide that glue. It's not really that noticeable. I mean, it is, but it isn't. And it hides the glue, and, you know, it's just, you know, just do it. You'll thank me later. Alright, we have placed down our extra little extension off of James to begin the tender. And I was actually incorrect. That's not what we want. Son of a bean. Okay, we're going to place a board. And then we want to place a girder. Girder. Shoot. Shoot. Girder. Girder. Shoot. Shoot. Girder. Girder. Buffer. Buffer. Temporary shoot. Coupler. Boom. Okay, and then on the middle, on the inside here, we want some black slashed locomotive to kind of fill that in and give us a thing. Place a copycat board down on either side of that reverser, and then we want to run a copycat slice all the way along here, make it a level 2. Copycat slice along here, make it a level 2. Grab yourself a crimsite pillar, fill that level 2 in. Starting to come together. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we're going to place some temporary blocks down because we can. And we're going to fill these in like that. Remove these temporary blocks. And now you want to come in here and backfill all of those boards. The reason being, now you can build stuff on top of those like that. So we're going to grab our black red wrapped locomotive, fill those in. Like that. And then you can grab your sign of choice. Place your sign of choice in the middle of your new tender. Grab yourself a copycat vertical slice. Place them like that. Grab a crimsite pillar and mess with them until they look like this, because then that kind of looks like a little bit of a ladder. You're going to grab a placard. It does not matter which color. Place it directly in the center. Grab a headlight. place that inside the placard. We are going to grab a piece of the red logo metal to fill in our buffers. And then we are going to take a copycat panel, start a panel train all the way down the bottom there. Run a temporary one across here. And then continue your panel train down this way, like that. Now, you can pretty much put whatever you want on the inside of these panels, and it'll look amazing. I know it because you're you and you're awesome. But I'm gonna put the black slashed loco metal there because I think that looks good. Do a quick swap out of the old hot bar. And we're gonna do a quick little temporary block setup. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and that's going to be the shape of our Fowler tender. So let's go ahead and do the same thing here. Like that, and then like that. And yeah, believe it or not, your James is actually pretty much done. What we want to grab is another train casing, and we want to do the triple axle small, wait, no, not small, where is it, medium trailing, or you can do the medium tender. It's entirely up to you. I went with the medium trailing because if you do that, it looks good and all, but I felt like the medium tender one just kind of filled it in a little bit more. Like it didn't look so blank and empty. Soulless, whatever you want to call it. So we're gonna grab the trailing. And that just fills it in, and personally I just like that a little bit better. You can use whatever type of wheel you want there. I'm going to grab a copycat board, boop those out of existence, and grab this copycat layer, and we're going to shift. Boop. That was supposed to work. I don't know why it gives you so much grief. So essentially what I did was I put 3 boards down, removed that guy, and placed the girder back. The reason we want that board there is so we can go like that on either side there, and then we can just let's see here. How do I do this? Well, like that. Okay. Like that. Give yourself a tour fill that guy in like that. Whatever color you want's totally fine. Again, it's your build. Do it however you want. Add in some coal. You know, I trust you guys to add in some coal and do all that on your own. I'm gonna just add a basic little shape-a-do here. Just add in some different layers and it'll give you the effect of it piling down and sliding down and things like that. We're going to grab a copycat board once more. Place that copycat board on right here, and then how do I do this? Oh, like that. We can go like that. Like that. Place one right there behind that guy. Like that. Almost done. Fill in those with the tiles. Fill in those with the black locomotive smoke box, and your James is complete. He looks awesome. He's ready to pull some coaches. He's ready to get onto a turntable and spin around and around and around and around and around. Yeah, all that stuff. To glue your James, you're gonna go ahead and make a temporary little blocky here, and then we're gonna put a temporary little blocky no temporary blocky there, so we're gonna right click this little guy and right click your temporary little blocky guy. That's gonna be the cab to get these pieces to stick to the roof. Just glue them to the roof like that. Place another temporary little blocky guy, and then one on top of him. And you're gonna run a bead of glue from that guy to that guy. And that will complete your James. So what you want to do to flip the wheel is just make sure that you see a rotated bogey when you right click it. Place it into assembled mode, and sometimes it doesn't like to do it, so do it one more time and it'll flip it around, making your James complete. He looks really cool in my opinion. I think he's awesome. I hope you think he's awesome, and if you liked the video, please like the video. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. Leave me a comment as to what you think should be done differently, what you're going to do with James, all the stuff, all the things. As usual, this build will be available on my Patreon, and being a member of the Patreon is pretty cool because you get cool things like this 80th James, the 80th Thomas, 80th Edward, 80th Henry, 80th Gordon, and eventually Percy, 80th Percy, 80th Toby, 80th Duck, blah 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 blah, yakety schmackety, all the cool stuff. So yep, link to the Patreon and link to the schematic will be in the description as well. Thanks so much for watching, have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye everybody!